The Antwerp Diamond District. Over 80% of the world's rough diamonds pass through here, and in 2003 alone, annual sales hit over $2 billion. It's one of the densest concentrations of wealth anywhere in the world. Accordingly, it's very securely guarded. The district has its own police force provided by the Belgian government. There are also steel cylinders that can shut off the entire perimeter by blocking any vehicles from getting in or from leaving. At the heart of the district is the Antwerp Diamond Center. The building's vault, 2 stories underground, held hundreds of millions of dollars worth of diamonds, jewels, gold, and other priceless treasures. This vault isn't just a big metal box with a lock. It has 8 layers of security. First, a combination dial with over 100 million possible codes made guessing the entry nearly impossible. Behind it stood a massive steel door, engineered to resist even the most determined drilling attempts. The door was also key-locked with a foot-long key, which was almost impossible to duplicate. But getting past that wasn't enough. On the other side was a locked steel grate, another barrier designed to keep intruders out. Even if someone managed to bypass these physical defenses, they would still face a gauntlet of high-tech security measures. A heat and motion detector stood ready to trigger an alarm the moment an uninvited guest set foot inside. A sensitive light sensor could detect even the faintest flashlight beam, while a magnetic field detector ensured no one could tamper with the vault door undetected. A radar system continuously scanned for movement, and security cameras monitored nearly every angle, making sure that no suspicious activity went unnoticed. And as if all that wasn't enough, an armed police force patrolled the area at all times, ready to descend with automatic weapons at the first alarm. It was a bank vault on steroids. No one thought it could be cracked, except for Leonardo Notarbartolo. Leonardo Notarbartolo wasn't just some common thief. He had been fascinated by heists since he was young. His first robbery was at the age of 6. His mother had sent him out to buy milk, but he found the milkman asleep. So he slipped his hands into the man's pocket, pulling out 5,000 lira, around $8, and grabbed a bottle of milk for himself. When his mother discovered what he had done, she beat him. But for Notarbartolo, the thrill of the steal had already taken hold. He had found his true calling. As he grew up, he started stealing cars and looked for better loot. In his 20s, he began studying people in order to best learn how to rob them. For weeks, Notarbartolo shadowed jewelry salesmen across Italy, studying their every move until he knew their routines better than they did. Then, when the moment was right, he struck, vanishing with a fortune in precious gems and jewelry. When Notarbartolo first visited the Antwerp Diamond District, he knew this was his chance to pull off the heist of a lifetime. It's a sunny day in the late 1990s. Notarbartolo drinks an espresso in the Antwerp Diamond District. A man approaches him. He sits down and introduces himself.
Hey, I'm a Jewish gem dealer from here. I know who you are, what you do, and I've got an offer for you. You'll get 100,000 euros in cash. All I need is a simple answer. Take a look inside the vault of the Antwerp Diamond Center. Snap some pictures, study it, then tell me, is it possible?
Leonardo Notarbartolo knows that this mission couldn't be done, but for 100,000 euros, he is more than willing to prove just how impossible the job really is. He equips himself with a miniature pen camera, discreetly tucked into his breast pocket, a tiny spy device capable of capturing 100 high-resolution images. Wait, but how does he get into the building? For that, we have to go 2 years back in time. Notarbartolo began renting an office inside of the Diamond Center and gained many people's trusts there. There he posed as an Italian diamond merchant, made friends and ran a semi-legitimate business for 3 years without doing anything too suspicious. And since he was a tenant of the Diamond Center, he was given a card that gave him 24-hour access to the building, and more importantly, access to the massive vault to store his own diamonds in. So with his pen camera equipped, he moves casually through the halls and into the heavily secured vault, where he snaps dozens of photos, documenting every detail. 5 months after handing over the photos and declaring the heist impossible, Notarbartolo receives a call from an anonymous number.
Meet me at this address.
Seconds later, a text appears on his phone with a location. Later that day, Notarbartolo arrives at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Antwerp. Inside, the Jewish gem dealer greets him with a curt nod.
I want you to meet some people.
Notarbartolo follows him through the warehouse, stopping in front of a massive structure draped in black plastic tarps. With growing curiosity, he ducks under the covering and freezes. Before him stands an exact replica of the Diamond Center vault, recreated with meticulous precision from the very photos he had taken. Inside, 3 Italian men stand in quiet conversation, their voices cutting off as soon as Notarbartolo and the dealer approach. None of them give real names, only nicknames. That way, if one gets caught, he couldn't betray the others. One of them steps forward.
They call me the genius. My specialty? Alarm systems. Any kind, anywhere. I can disable most of the vault security remotely, but some need to be done in person.
Next, a towering muscular man shakes Notarbartolo's hand. The others call him Monster,
I'm monstrously good at everything.
though his sheer strength and intimidating presence likely played a role in the nickname. Behind them stands a quiet, older man with a kind, grandfatherly demeanor.
They call me the King of Keys. My job is to duplicate the vault's key, which is supposedly impossible to copy. All I need is clear video of the key.
Getting video of that key won't be easy.
The king simply shrugs.
That's your problem.
The team is in place, the target locked in. In just a few weeks, the monthly De Beers diamond shipment would arrive, filling the vault with up to $100 million worth of precious stones waiting to be taken. It's February 14th in 2003, one day before the heist. Notarbartolo is granted access to the vault, the familiar buzz of the lock signaling his entry. A security camera follows his movements, but the guard monitoring the feed barely glances at the screen. Notarbartolo has become just another regular face, routinely visiting his safe deposit boxes. He moves with purpose, heading toward his box, but at the last second, he subtly shifts to the left. Slipping a small aerosol can from his pocket, he gives the vault's heat and motion sensor a quick, controlled spray of women's hairspray. A nearly invisible layer of oily mist settles over the sensor, blinding it to temperature changes. The system is designed to trigger an alarm only if it detects both motion and heat, but now, half of that mechanism is disabled. On the night of February 15th, the team makes their move. Under the cover of darkness, they enter a small private garden behind the Diamond Center. Leonardo had discovered that this area was not monitored by security cameras. Once inside the garden, they use a ladder to reach a small balcony on the first floor. There, the genius installs a polyester shield to block the infrared detector. They access an emergency door that Leonardo, during his months of reconnaissance, had learned was rarely used. Inside the building, they move as quickly as possible. The team uses black plastic bags to cover the security camera and switches on the lights. They find themselves in front of the massive vault. The genius uses a specially designed tool, an aluminum plate with double-sided tape on it, to deinstall the magnetic sensor without breaking the magnetic field. They now face the steel vault door. The King of Keys takes over. He slides the key into place and dials in the lock's combination to unlock the door. Precisely, the King of Keys unlocks the steel grate. The monster enters first, opens a panel in the ceiling, and rewires the cables. The room is now completely cut off from the outside world. Immediately, the team goes to work, first covering the heat and motion detectors with a styrofoam box and the light detector with tape. Inside the vault, they are surrounded by 160 safe deposit boxes, each containing diamonds, gold, and priceless jewelry. They focus on the ones marked by the diamond dealer, knowing they contain the most valuable contents. The King of Keys uses a small hand-cranked drill to remove the locks. No alarms are triggered. One by one, the boxes are emptied. Diamonds the size of marbles, gold bars, wads of cash. Everything is packed into duffel bags. For nearly 5 hours, the team works inside the vault, meticulously emptying 123 boxes. They leave behind the less valuable items, taking only what they could carry. When they are done, They retrace their steps, removing any evidence they had left behind. They even take the security tapes with them, ensuring there would be no footage of their operation. At 5:30 a.m., they run out the building, get back into their car, and drive off, without having triggered even a single alarm. Gathering in Notarbartolo's apartment, the team cheers, the heist is complete, and nobody will have a clue until Monday morning when the dealers return to work. The loot, over $100 million, is split, and from then on, they go their separate ways. But they then make a terrible mistake. The team has been wearing plastic gloves during the whole heist, so they didn't leave any DNA evidence inside of the vaults. However, they need to burn those gloves. On their drive to Italy, Notarbartolo pulls off on the side of the road to do it, but his friend allegedly, according to him, gets nervous and begins throwing stuff carelessly out of the window, including a half-eaten salami sandwich. A local farmer later notices the suspicious garbage and reports it to the police. The sandwich provides the DNA evidence which leads to Notarbartolo's arrest. He is sentenced to 10 years in prison for his role in the heist. Leonardo. Notarbartolo never gave up the names of any of his fellow robbers, even to this day. Despite his conviction, the stolen diamonds were never recovered. Some believe they were smuggled out of Europe. Others believe the gang still has them hidden. What do you think really happened? Write it in the comments. Also, check out this video about the most dangerous Delta Force mission that has ever been carried out.